Good morning, friends. Let's today talk about the continental drift theory. So, the previous lecture we talk about origin of the earth and also interior of the earth. So, the origin of the continents basis on the various theories in our syllabus. The some theories are support to the origin of continents and ocean. So today let's see one of the theory, continental drift theory. So let's see first aim of the theory. So this theory, Professor Alfred Wegener of Germany was primarily a meteorologist. He propounded his concept in continental drift theory in the year of 1912. So, this theory proposed by the Professor Alfred Wegener. He is a German scientist and meteorologist, and he gave this theory, continental drift theory, in the year of 1912. Then he elaborated his concept in a book entitled Die Answering Dear Continents and Ozone in 1922, and this book was translated in English in the year of 1924. Wegener displacement hypothesis was based on the work and finding of a host of scientists such as geologists, paleoclimatologists, paleontologists, geophysicists, etc. So, this theory, displacement hypothesis, was based on the work of finding of a host of scientists such as a geologist, paleoclimatologist, plantologist, and geophysics. So he they are work on different fields such as a geologist, such as a paleoclimatologist, and paleontologist and geophysicist. And according to their work, these theories hypotheses are formed. Then what's a Wegener's view about the continental drift? So Wegener's rejected the view of the permanency of continent and ocean basin. Thus, he accepted the displacement hypothesis or continental drift. Wegener's he rejected the view of the permanency of continent and ocean basin. According to him, he accepted the displacement hypothesis of continental drift. So, continents is not a stable. According to the Wegener's view, he said that he accepted the displacement hypothesis or continental drift. So, continents are drifted and continent drift was a theory that explained how continents shift position on the earth surface. So the main focus of this theory is a continent shift positions. How do the continent shift positions on the earth surface? Now you look the today's continental position. So you know that On the Earth's surface, the seven major continents are exist, and four major oceans are exist, like Pacific Oceans, Arctic Oceans, and also another. The continental drift was a theory that explained how two continents shift position on the Earth's surface. That is the main aim of this theory. The some continents are west side, some continents are situated east side, some of the north, some of the southward. Okay, so today's positions of the continents, how to the form, and this theory is focused on that view. These continents, which causes are responsible for the continental shifts. So, this theory elaborated all of these all explanations about the shifting of continents on the earth surface. So look at this image. You can see here some of the continents like as Africa, like as South America, then Indian plateaus, Indian continents, and Antarctica and Australia. So the distribution of glacial features can be best explained if the continents were part of Pangea. The distribution of a glacial features can be best explained in the continents were part of the Pangea. So Wagner, according to the Wagner's, he said that on the Earth's surface, only one continents are exist in many of the last year ago, and the name of these continents is Pangea. So the basic premises of this theory. So Edward Suez and Wagner believed in three-layer system of the Earth. For example, outer layer of Ciel, then intermediate layer of Sima, and then lower layer of Nim. So the last lectures also discussed about the interior parts of the Earth. So in this part, in this lecture, we have shows the first part of the Earth's surface. It's made up by Ciel. The Ciel is a upper layer of the Earth crust, and why it gives to the name of this layer of Ciel, because of in this layer the silica and aluminum minerals constituents is high, and it's a lighter than Sima. Then after then the Ciel beneath the second layer, it's known as Sima. So Sima, so again, why it gives to the name of this Sima, this layer? Because of in this layer, the silica and magnesium's constituents is large, and Sima layers is heavier than Ciel. So most of the continents made up by Ciel, and all of the oceans basins are formed by Sima. So it's clear that Seal floating on Sima. So it's a clear get a idea. Seal is lighter than Sima, and Seal most of the continents made up by seal layers, and ocean basins are made up by Sima. So the continents floating on ocean basins. And then third layer, interior part of the earth is Nephi. So you know that why it gives to the name of this layer Nephi. So nickels and ferrous minerals constitutes are large in the third part of the interior of the earth. And according to the Wagner, Seal was considered to be limited to the continental masses. I also repeat here all of the continent masses made by Seal. Whereas the ocean crust was represented by upper part of the Sima and content of Sealic masses were floating on Sima without any resistance offered by Sima. So it's a clear idea here. The Seal is a floating on Sima because of Seal is a lighter parts and Sima is a heavier parts. And all of the continents masses made up by Seal and all of the oceans basins made by a Sima. Is it clear here? Okay. The next one is he assumed on the basis of evidences of paleoclimatology, palynology, paleobotany, geology, and geophysics, etc. Thus, all the land masses were united together in the form of one landmass, which he named Pangaea in Carboniferous period. He assumed one of the evidences according to the knowledge of paleoclimatology, then paleontologists, then paleobotanists, then geologists, and geophysics. And according to this knowledge, that all the land masses were united together in the form of one landmass, which he named Pangaea in Carboniferous period. In the Carboniferous period, only one landmass are exist on the Earth's surface, and this continent, this landmass, also called as Pangaea. Is it clear? In a Carboniferous, many years, I think the 425 years, millions years ago, the only one continental continental masses are formed and the call as these land masses as Pangaea. And Pangaea, which was surrounded by a huge water body. And the next sentence, and the Pangaea, which was surrounded by huge water body. So you know that the one of the continent are present or exist on the earth's surface that called as a Pangaea and surrounded by one huge water body of Pangaea, which was named by Wegeners as Panthalsa. This water body, the name of these water bodies is a Panthalsa. They representing a primeval Pacific Ocean, and this Panthalsa represent primeval Pacific Oceans. So you know that the Pacific Oceans is the biggest oceans in the world. So the Panthalsa, it's a primitive view, primitive things of Pacific Ocean. And then Laurentia, the another name of Angarkha land, the consisting of North America, Europe, and Asia, means from the northern part of Pangaea. So the which one the continental mass is a Pangaea many years ago on the surface of the earth, and this continent surrounded by one of the huge water body, the name of this Panthalsa, and some forces, due to some evidences, the Pangea is a broken down, and he moved west, northward and southward. Then northward part of the Pangea, its name is Angara land. And this Angara land, Laurasia, consisting of North America, Europe, and Asia. This is the all of the part, northern part of the Pangea. And one part is a move to the southward directions. And the name of this part, southward part, is the name of the Gondwana land. And Gondwana land consisting of South America, Africa, Peninsular India, Australia, and Antarctica, representing the southern part of the Pangea. It means here the Pangea is a broken down in two parts, and one part moved to the northward directions, and one part moved to the southward direction. The northern part of the Pangea, its name is Angara land, and it's a consist of North America, Europe, Asia, and the southward part of the Pangea, it's a name of the Gondwana, and it's a consisting of South America, Africa, Peninsular India, Australia, and Antarctica. Is it clear here? Okay. So look at this image. The two parts of the Pangea, one is Laurasia, the Angara land, and then this is the northward part, and then second part of the Pangea is the Gondwana land, and surrounded by the Panthalsa oceans. And when the time the Pangea is broken down into the two parts, Laurasia and Gondwana land, the one of the small sea exist between in the two continents, and the name of this sea, it's Tethys Sea. The name of this sea is a Tethys. Okay. So Wegener's theory of continental drift theory begin from Carboniferous period. He does not describe the condition of during pre-Carboniferous times, but it does not mean that the disbelief in pre-Cambrian Carboniferous drifts. So the continental drifts occur in Carboniferous period, and that time the driftings of continents are occurred. So next one, the evidences in supporting of the theory. So in this theory, we have understood how to the drifting of continents. One part is a Laurasia, and then second part is a Gondwana, and in between the two parts, the small sea Tethys are formed, and the continents is a move toward southward and toward the northern. So next point, let's see here the evidences in supporting of the theory. So Wegener has successfully attempted to prove the unfixation of all the landmass in the form of single landmass, the Pangea during Carboniferous. He gave some evidences about the continental drift theory. So then he claimed that all the present day continents could be joined to from Pangea. The Wegeners said that the first evidences now today's the all of the continents join together and form two again one big continents. The name of this continent is Pangea. Then second slide show this some evidences and some continents. Look at here: Africa, South America, India, Antarctica, and Australia. Then some of the animals and some of the plants are seen in this slide. So this is the more evidences of this theory. Then following evidences support the concept of Pangea. So according to the Wegener, there is a geographical similarities. That is the one of the evidences about the continental drift theory. So geographical similarities along the both coast of Atlantic Ocean mean both the coast of Atlantic Ocean can be fitted together in the same way as two cut off pieces of wood can be refitted, or they also known as jigsaw fit. That is one of the evidences gave by the Wegeners. So geographical similarities. So where is a geographical similarities are found? The both coast of Atlantic Oceans, the west coast and east coast. Okay, so the both coast of the Atlantic Oceans are similar and they can join to with each other to fit the exact location. And these things, these evidences like as or known as jigsaw fit. So jigsaw fit means, so suppose you cut the one of the trees, wood of the trees, and after then the convert into the two parts of the wood. Okay, and they separate from with each other, and after then these two part rejoin to with each other. They can it can fit to both each other. So that's things is also called as jigsaw fit. So here similar way, the both coast of Atlantic Ocean, one coast is a west side and then second coast is a east side. So this coast of Atlantic Ocean rejoined with each other to attach the same manners. Okay, Then second one, the geological evidences denote that the Caledonian and Hyrcanian mountain system of the western and eastern coastal area of the Atlantic Oceans are similar. So geological evidences denotes that the Caledonians and Hyrcanian mountain systems of the western and eastern coast areas of the Atlantic Oceans are similar. There is a two mountains are formed. One is a west coast, the Caledonian, and then eastern coast is a Hyrcanians. So these both coasts are similar of the Atlantic Oceans. And then third one is there is a mark of similarities in the fossils and vegetations remains found on the eastern coast of South America and western coast of Africa. So again, one of the evidences there is a mark similarities in the fossils and vegetations. So you look at here, the South America is a different continents and western coast of Africa again the different continents. But in this continent, found the fossils and vegetations are same. Why are same there? Because of the South America and western coast of Africa is a part of the Pangea and it's a similar, and due to these similarities which the fossils and vegetations also same. Here two continents is a different, but on that continents found the fossils and vegetations are similar. That is the support to this theory and Wagner's view. The Pangea is only one continents are present in Carboniferous period, and after then the Pangea is broken down by the some evidences, and now the present continents are formed. But on that continents, the some similarities are seen, like as a geographical similarities, like as a fossils and vegetations similarities. Okay. Then what evidences did he have? The continent fit like puzzle pieces, freshwaters, animal fossils and separate sites of the oceans, then plant fossils found in Antarctica, then similar rock layer on the separate continents, and then glacial deposit in now the tropical deserts area. Again, some evidences are seen here. The continental fit like puzzle pieces. You know that the seven continents are present, and the shape and size also different than with each other. But the all the pieces rejoined to with each other, they are similar. Then fresh waters, then animal fossils on separate sides of the oceans. So this is the one of the evidences why the fresh water and animals and fossils are found on the surrounding on the ocean bodies. Then plant fossils found in Antarctica. So you know that now today's position, the Antarctica is covered by the totally ice covered. You know that. So there is a totally ice covered. So why the plants and fossils are found there? But again, he proved that the Antarctica is again the part of the Pangea, and due to the plant fossils are found there. Is it clear? That is a very easy meaning here. Then similar rock layer on separate continents, and some of the rocks layer again the similar. Now today the continents are different to with each other, and why again the similar rock layers are found on the different separate continents? So we click here, the all of the continents, it's a part of the Pangea. Is it clear? And then glacial deposit in now tropical and deserts area. So you know that the tropical is a so hot climatical conditions area, and also the deserts area. So there is a high temperature, high climatical conditions are present there. Now these situations. So how do the glaciers deposit form there? But he again clear that here. So the continents is a joint with each other, only one part of the Pangea. So here the again this figure are show continental shape, then matching ancient rock assemblage. The some of the rocks types are seen in this slide. The yellow color, sorry, orange colors are shows the rock assembling in a different continents. So how to the possible? So here rock is not running to the different continents. It's a possible, it's not a possible, but these rock layers, these rock assemblies are found in the different kinds of the continent, because of these all of the continents part is only one of the Pangea, and some continental shape shelf again the similar here. Then from geological evidences, geodetic evidences say that the Greenland is a drifting westward direction at the rate of 20 centimeter a year. That is the one of the strong evidences of this theory. So these evidences, it's known as a geodetic evidences. So this evidences says that the Greenland, so you know that the Greenland is the one of the part of the continents is a drifted westward direction at the rate of 20 centimeter per year. Now in the present situations, the Greenland, Iceland is a drifted where westward direction at the rate of 20 centimeter per year. This condition is a carrying down up to this moment. Then, due to the evidences of seafloor spreading, have confirmed the movement of landmass with respect to each other. And again, you know that the seafloor spreading theories, he strongly supported to the drifting of land masses with respect to each other. These situations is carried out in present situations. Then the lemming small size animal. This is the once again the evidences. The lemming small size animal of the northern part of Scandinavia have a tendency to run westward direction, where their population is enormously increased. It is the one of the biological evidences. The lemming animals he lived in Scandinavia, and his tendency to run westward direction, and this tendency now today's present situations is a run off, where the population is enormously increased. When that time in the Scandinavia, the lemmings animals are situated on that region, and when the time the high populations of lemming animals on that Scandinavia region, so the sum of the animals move run westward direction, and these habits running up to these movements, then the most of the animals are sink in oceans, and they are die because of the land mass are finished, and the water bodies, ocean water bodies, are surrounded by the Scandinavia region, and the lemmings is run off from this region Scandinavia, and he sink in a ocean basin, and they are die. But his habitual action is exist in last more and more decade years, when that time the all of the land masses is only one on the continent of Pangaea. The distribution of Glaspropetric flora in India, South Africa, Australia, Antarctica, Falkland, Iceland, etc. So, in that continents, the sum of the glossopetric flora are found. He proved that fact that all the land masses were previously united in the form of Pangaea. So again, how to the floral things are same in the in India, in South Africa and Australia and Antarctica. But now today's this continent is separate from with each other, and why this geoplastic flora are found in same everywhere on that continents. But again, we realize that the all of the land masses were previously united in the form of Pangaea. Is it clear? That is the one of the evidences of this theory. The evidences of Carboniferous glaciers of Brazil, Falkland, South Africa, Peninsular India, Australia, and Antarctica prove that the unification of all the land masses in one landmass during Carboniferous period. The one of the evidences, let's see here, the Carboniferous glaciation of Brazil, Falkland, South Africa, Peninsular India, Australia, Antarctica. So the Carboniferous glaciation. Now today this is the all of the temperate region, and how to the Carboniferous glaciations are found. But again, proof here, the all of the land masses is one of the Pangaea. Then the process of the theory. So the Wegener also attempt to solve the problem of the earth, example origin of the mountain, then Iceland arc and festoons, then origin and evolution of continent and ocean basins, etc. So this theory is not the related the continent drift. He also focused on include the origin of the mountain, Iceland arc and festoons, then origin and evaluation of continents and ocean basin, etc. So this theory it's not the only related to the continental drift. He also include the origin of the mountain, Iceland arc and festoons, then origin and evaluation of continents and ocean basin, etc. Then which one the questions bearing in our mind, how to the drifted continents, which force are responsible to drifting this theory, so drifting these continents. So the forces responsible for the drift is according to the Wegener, the continent after breaking away from the Pangea moved into two direction, equatorward direction and westward direction. The equatorward direction, the equatorward movement of Cielic block, continental block, was caused by the center of gravity or the force of buoyancy between two rock blocks. He gave here one of the force. The name of this force is the equatorward direction. The equatorward movement of Cielic blocks was caused by the center of gravity, and this is the gravitational force are strong for the drifting of continents. And then second one, sorry, the another name of this gravity, center of the gravity forces, the force of buoyancy between the two rock blocks. When the time the two block rocks in this between the two blocks rocks, the center of the gravity force are raised, and due to this center of the gravity forces, the drifting are occurred. Then second one, the westward direction, the westward movement of the continent was caused by the tidal force of the sun and moon. And then he again the second force are responsible to the drifting of continents is the tidal force of the sun and moon. You know that the tidal force, the high tides are formed by the gravity of earth in between the sun and moon. This is the second force are responsible to the drifting of continents. One is a center of gravity, and then second one is a the tidal force of the sun and moon. This is the two force are responsible for the drifting of continent. Is it clear here? Okay. Then actual drifting of the continents, the dispersion, rifting, and ultimate drifting of the continent rock block began a Carboniferous period. The movement of the continental block away from the both poles was dramatically called the flight from the poles, and the Pangea was broken into two parts due to the different gravitational force and the force of buoyancy and then force of the tides, and the northern part became a Laurasia while the southern part was called the Wegeners as Gondwana land, and the intervening space between these two rock block was filled up with the water by Panthalsa, and resultant water bodies was called Tethys Sea, and this phase also known as opening of the Tethys. Then again this figure it shows that the different kinds of the continents Eurasia, North America, it's a northward direction, and then South America, Africa, India, Australia, Antarctica in the southward direction, and also the Eurasia, North America is a northward direction, and in between the two parts of the continent, the Tethys Sea are formed. Then commonly held concept of the Pangea, similar as it is. Then present day scenario, the India Peninsular, Australia and Antarctica broke away from Pangea of Gondwana land under the influence by tidal force of sun and moon. So now today's you can see on the westward southward part of the continent includes in the Indian Peninsula, Australia and Antarctica, then broke away from Pangaea of Gondwana land under the influence by tidal force of sun and moon. And due to these forces, the Pangaea is broken down, and the one part is goes or move the southward direction, the called as so they include the Indian Peninsula, Australia, Antarctica. Okay, and then while North America broke away from Angara land, drifted westward due to tidal forces. And now today's the let's see the North America is a westward site. You can see on the world map, and you can see the North America continent are situated to the westward side because of the Angarkha land is again the broken down by the tidal force, and the North America and South America move toward the westward direction. Then similarly, the South America broke away from the Africa and moved westward under the impact of tidal force, and again the Africa from the Africa, the South America is drifted from the Africa continents because of the impact of tidal forces. Then northward movement of Indian Peninsular, where Indian Ocean was formed. And now today's the that the Indian Peninsula is initially situated in the southward direction and the part of the Gondwana land. But now today's the India Peninsula is situated in the northward side because of the Indian Oceans are formed. Is it clear? Now today's the Indian Peninsula surrounded by the three main ocean, like as a westward side is Arabian Sea, then the southward sides is Indian Oceans, and then east side is the Bay of Bengals. So the this is the Indian Peninsula is a primitively the part of the Gondwana land, but now today's he moved northward. He situated the northward direction, and because of the form of the Indian Ocean. And while the Atlantic Ocean was formed due to the westward movement of to America. And now today's the in the South America and North America, in between the one of the oceans are formed. Its name is Atlantic Ocean, and again the these two continents, one is South America and one is the North America, are formed. That is the present scenario of the all of the continents. Here this figure shows that the how to the conversion, how to the convert in the different continents, and this all of the continents how to the move from main part of the Pangea. This is the some of the figure are shown here, and how to the structures are dynamic and are changeable from one figure to the fourth figure, and shows the year uh, to for the driftings of continents. Then it may be pointed out that the North and South America were drifting westward at a different rate, and hence S shape of Atlantic Ocean could be possible. Now today's the Atlantic Oceans, look at this on the world map. The S shapes are formed because of the South America and North America drifted the westward, and then Arctic Sea and North Sea were formed due to the flight from the poles, and the size of the panthalsa was remarkable reduced because of the movement of continental blocks from all sides toward the panthalsa. It mean remaining portions of panthalsa became Pacific Oceans. Then again, the mountain building. This theory is also focused on the mountain building. So Wegener's also attempt to solve the problem of the origin of folded mountain of tertiary period on the basis of continental drift theory. So North and South America were drifted westward. It's a become a converted into the compressive forces between the American blocks and Pacific blocks, and thus the formation of Rockies and Andes and other mountain chain system. So I also talked about you the this theory is not the only one related with the continental drift. He also the focus on the mountain building. So that time the North and South America were drifted westward. That time it's become converted into the compressive forces between the American blocks and Pacific blocks, and thus the formation of Rockies and Andes and other mountain chain system. So you know that the South America, North America, there are the formation of Rockies and Andes mountains because of the compressive forces between the American blocks and Pacific block. So that's the reason the some of the mountain chains are formed, such as Rockies mountain chains and Andes mountain chains. And then similarly, the Alpine mountain range of Eurasia were faulted due to the equatorial movement of Eurasia and Africa. And then again that the similarity to the compressive force are responsible to the formation of Alpine mountain range of Eurasia. You know that the you see the Eurasia, the Alpine mountain range are formed due to the compressive forces, and you know that the Himalaya mountain range, very well because of the in India, most of the part covered, most of the part covered by the Himalayan mountain range were formed due to the Indian bloc subducted into the Asian plain. The two plates, Asian plates and Indian bloc, yeah, it's here subducted are formed, and due to these subductions, so the Himalayan mountain range are formed. Then criticism and evaluation of this theory. So most of the scientists, geomorphologists, and the climatologists, they are criticized on the continental drift theory. So let's see first the criticism. The force applied by Wegener, gravitational force of sun and moon, and center of gravity forces are not sufficient to drift the continent so apart. So that is the one of the criticized on that theory. So most of the scientists, according to this scientist view, it's not the correct assumptions about the drifting continents to the responsible to drifting by the gravitational or tidal force. So it's not the sufficient proof about the continental drift theory. According to the various scientists, the tidal force and gravitational force is not sufficient to occurring the continental drifting theory. Okay, that is the one of the criticisms. And then second, for the suppose the westerly drift of the continent would be the need to 1000 10,000 millions times as a powerful as it is at a present. And so it's not a possible to the drifting of the continents to this by these forces, because of the need would be the need to the 10,000 millions times as a power full as it is present. So large number of large times of powers required to the continental drift theory, then if it had such value, it would be a stop the earth rotation completely in the year. And this force is a form. So due to this extra large force are form, and due to when that happening this condition, so the earth rotations is completely earth rotation is a stop completely in the 1 years. So it's not a possible. Then both the coast of Atlantic oceans can be completely refitted. Thus the concept of swap position or jigsaw fitting can be validated. So it's not the again the correct evidences about this theory. Then Wegener has not elaborated the direction of chronological sequence of the displacement of the continent. And according to the various scientists, various geomorphologists, so it's not the Wegener's, it's not give to the exact sequence and directions or of the displacement of the continents. So not in the sequence or chronological orders. Then he did not describe the situations of Precambrian times. And again the that again one of the criticism according to the some geomorphologists. So it's not the describe the situations of pre-carboniferous times. That is the one of the evidences. Then you see again this figure, how to the continental drift, the Pangea. Again, Pangea is broken down the two parts. One is a Laurasia, and then second part is a Gondwana. And now the modern world, today's world map show that type of this. You know that everyone. So this video totally explained about the continental drift theory by the Alfred Wegener in 1912. So in this theory, we are discussed about how to the continental drift, which forces are responsible continental drift theory, some of the evidences, and some of the criticisms of this theory. Okay, thank you.